Kyouya Hashiba is an ordinary guy who works for a video game company called Sexyed Soft. One day he gets fired from the company and is forced to move back with his parents. He is depressed and feels like his life up to this point has been pretty pointless, and thinks that he has wasted about 10 years of his life as he notices that people his age have already accomplished so much. Kyouya regrets that in his past he didn't choose to go to an art school, but instead he decided to attend a normal university. He begins to remember how hard it was working for his boss, called Kyouya. At his stores he always gave him a hard time. His work life was actually looking better when it was announced that he will be working with the Platinum Generation, a highly respected company. But that all fell apart and the project was cancelled. Kyouya was then fired and now he is just lost and wishes his life could be different. However, one night he goes to sleep and the following morning everything changes. He is shocked when he realizes that he is now in the year 2006. He is back at high school and is 10 years younger. Kyouya can't believe his luck, and this time he decides things will be different. He has another chance at life. As Kyouya learns that he has just graduated from high school, he needs to pick a university. And this time he chooses to go to the art college. He moves away from his parents' house and moves to the share house Kitayama. Kyouya is happy, and as soon as he finds his room he falls sound asleep. The following morning he wakes up and a girl, called Akishino, is sleeping right next to him. During the day he meets the other people in his dorm. He is introduced to Nanato Kagura and Tsurayuki Rokuanji. They are all friendly and Kyouya feels like he fits right in. Later all the students are invited to the opening ceremony of the Arts University, where they are introduced to Professor Misaki Kano. The professor tells all the excited students some pretty troublesome news. She tells them that most of them will not likely have a successful career after they finish their education, as the field is very demanding and it is difficult to find a job after college. Kyouya is then shocked when he is introduced to his future boss Aiko. A couple of weeks pass by and Kyouya goes to a special event to meet more students. He gets a chance to meet Iki in a more private setting. The two connect and he learns more about her. When the night is over, Kyouya returns home and realizes something pretty shocking. He is now living with students who will go on to be members of the Platinum Generation, so Kyouya has a chance to become extremely successful. Professor Kano comes up with assignments for the students. They all have to create a short film that has the topic of time. Kyouya and Nanako begin working part-time at a convenience store. While they are hard at work at the store, they discuss ideas about the short film. Kyouya remembers that in the future Tsurayuki will have an interesting project about the same topic. Kyouya then tells the idea to his friends and all four of them plan to go and shoot the shot at the train station. This idea that Kyouya proposes is actually something that Tsurayuki has been planning. He had the idea but didn't share it with anyone. In private he asks a bunch of his friends how Kyouya came up with the concept, and after a while he gives up and just convinces himself it's a strange coincidence, nothing more. Later in the day they finish shooting the short film, but it is too long and there needs to be cuts to the material so that it fits the run time. Tsurayuki is disappointed that they have to cut some of the stuff as he's very passionate about the project. Afterwards, the four students get invited to be part of the Fine Arts Study Club. Aki and Nanako at first don't want to join the club, but they later come around. Kyouya goes over the script with Kano and she has a few notes. She tells him that the script needs to be more focused on the audience and tells Tsurayuki the same thing, and they then work on the script. When the second day of shooting arrives, Aki realizes that Tsurayuki is using a standard camera that is much worse than a video camera. They are running out of time and can't get the right camera to film the shot. Kyouya then decides to come up with another idea to solve this problem. He decides that the best way to shoot the shot would be to just use the camera they have and use a series of camera stills of the train station, and Kyouya will then edit the shot so that it tells a compelling narrative. Their team finally gets reviewed for their shot, but it is revealed they finished in third place, and first place went to Aiko's team. It is also revealed that Kano is actually a talented filmmaker, and Aiko is her younger sister. After the ceremony, Nanako and Kyouya go to a karaoke bar where Kyouya finds out that Nanako has a background in music, and the love for it came from her grandmother. Nanako really enjoys singing and has lots of fun doing it. Kyouya watches her sing and gets an idea to maybe upload her singing on the internet. Days after, a party is organized by Team Kitayama. After the party is over, Iki and Kyouya walk back home. Kyouya is impressed by Iki and her talents and tells her that she should pursue her art and keep trying. This inspires Iki to try even harder than before. During the summer break, Team Kitayama is given a special task where they must film a movie while on the beach. They get some help from Aiko in the Fine Arts Club. Later they work at their part-time jobs and Kyouya meets Keiko Tomioka, who is the leader of a popular doujin club called Hallucigenia Soft. After some time the new semester begins and multiple movies are shown. A lot of them are amazing. However, because of the technical approach the movie from Team Kitayama, they win first place. Kano later explains that while the movie had great acting, the approach to the art was just superior to any other movie shown. Later, to celebrate their victory, Kitayama and the art club all go to a karaoke club. There, Nanako sings for everyone and Aiko starts to poke fun at Nanako and her singing dreams. She tells Nanako that she isn't serious about her career as a singer, making Nanako angry, and in turn she storms out. Aiko later apologizes to Kyouya for the way she acted, and Aiko admits that she just got jealous. She asks Kyouya for his help so that she can make amends with Nanako. The next day at the Fine Arts Club, Keiko asks Kyouya to work for her, but Kyouya declines her invitation. That same night, Kyouya prepares a surprise for Nanako. He plays some of her songs that he recorded and once again tells her to pursue her musical career no matter what anyone says. The following day, a special festival at the university starts. Kitayama and the Fine Arts Club prepare a special presentation in a cafe, and Keiko helps them out to best prepare. Kyouya and Iki try their hardest and they spend 2 whole days working tirelessly. After that, they decide to enjoy the festival together, walking around and exploring. Eventually, as the festival is ending, Kyouya is very tired. However, he and Iki reach a painting by an artist named Kazu Yamashina. But as Kyouya recognizes the artist, he passes out from exhaustion. When he wakes up, he sees Iki next to him. The two of them almost kiss, but Kyouya gets a call from Tsureyuki. A problem has appeared and the secret guest that was supposed to perform at the festival has cancelled, which means that they don't have anyone to perform. Kyouya then gets the task to find someone to replace the singer and be the special guest instead. He tries to think about any potential candidates, but then remembers Nanako has a great singing voice. Kyouya then goes to Nanako with the idea, but she refuses at first as she is scared of singing in public. Kyouya explains that she has nothing to fear and this might actually help her music career. Nanako accepts the offer and she performs at the concert. She does really great and everybody loves her singing. After the concert, Iki and Kyouya hang out and eventually they kiss. Nanako is watching them in secret. She is jealous but doesn't want to share her feelings. Several days go by as the festival celebrations come to a close and Tsureyuki has started to act strange. He doesn't show up to class much and works almost the entire day at his part-time job. People in their dorm have started to catch on that something is wrong. And one day Tsureyuki collapses from exhaustion and gets sent to the doctor. He then gets together with Kyouya and explains his whole situation. Apparently he comes from a very wealthy family of doctors and he is the first one who decided to pursue a different career. He wants to be a script writer and his parents hated that, so he then decided to run away from home and has been paying his own tuition by working numerous jobs ever since. Kyouya is sad for his friend and decides to help him out. He decides to make a doujin game which he tells Keiko to sell to anyone she can find. With the profits from the game, they will try to pay for Tsureyuki's tuition. Kazu does the background art for the game and everyone from the house also start working. This causes a few bad grades at school as they don't have enough time to study. And after some time, in a shocking twist of events, Tsureyuki is visited by his fiancée and childhood friend, called Sayuri Shoji. She gets to know everybody in their shared house and decides to treat them all to a big dinner. He has come to convince Tsureyuki to come back home and become a doctor. She also wants him to marry her so that they can live a rich and family-oriented life. For the next couple of days, the students keep working on the game. Winter break approaches and it becomes more of an issue because of their schoolwork. To focus on making the game, a lot of them don't have time to study and exams are coming up. However, their friend is more important to them, so they all decide to not give up and they even work on the game during the winter break. When they return to school, Aiko warns Kyouya that because of his leadership and demands, the team is starting to fall apart. They have been working for months on the game almost all day every day. And Kyouya realizes that they are too tired, so he tells everybody to take a rest for a while. But this means that the production of the game falls behind schedule. Sayuri no longer visits their student home, but one day she demands to talk with Kyouya. She tells him that Tsureyuki must return home and continue his career in medicine, which is when Kyouya realizes that Sayuri only cares about herself. He tells her to respect Tsureyuki's wishes and to let him be the person he wants to be. Hearing this, Sayuri decides to return back home, leaving Tsureyuki to follow his dream in screenwriting. The game launch date has now been set and the students only have a month left to finish the game. Kyouya realizes that the game must be changed in some aspects so they have more time to finish it. The changes anger Tsureyuki because the game script loses a lot of the story elements. Aki's artwork also gets compromised in the process. The month passes by and now only hours remain until the game officially launches. In an unfortunate turn of events, Kyouya finds countless bugs in the game. It's barely working and he has to fix them as fast as he can. He works all night and the game is finally completed. The game is called Harusora and it's time to sell it. After a while, it seems that the game is selling quite a lot of copies, and because of that, everybody in the student house celebrates. After months of hard work, it's finally time to relax and celebrate, but Tsureyuki is not happy. While his tuition has been paid, He realized that all his success at college has been because of Kyouya. He finds this depressing and he decides to drop out of school. Kyouya is heartbroken because of this and feels like he was the one who pushed Tsurayuki away from his dreams. Kyouya is filled with regret and he doesn't know how to fix things. That night he talks to Keiko and goes to sleep soon after. The next morning he wakes up 11 years into the future. It is the year 2018 and he is married to Uki. They also have a daughter called Maki Hashiba. For some time Kyouya is confused about his new life but tries to figure things out. He somehow manages to understand his new situation and finds out that he is now working with Aiko for a highly successful gaming company called Attraction Point. The company is famous all around the world for making mobile games. Kyouya decides to enjoy this new life, and the next day he goes to work where he meets up with his coworker Miki Morishita. Aiko also joins them and tells Kyouya to rush the game illustrator Minori. She has been very slow at her work and the process is suffering because of it. Kyouya goes to talk to Minori and she tells him that because of the fast-paced nature of the work she has hit a mental block. But Kyouya looks at all her amazing art and gives her motivation to keep going. When he gets back home from work, Kyouya learns more about his family. He finds out that Uki had given up her art career years ago. Kyouya also learns that Nanako retired and she had a career as a successful virtual idol. Tsurayuki also never wrote anything and didn't achieve his goals. The following day, Kyouya realizes that none of his friends achieved their dreams but himself, making him sad and returns home depressed. Uki tries to help him and explains that because of the pressure of the art she just stopped drawing and it just wasn't fun anymore. Kyouya realizes that the game production he forced upon all his student friends years ago is what caused them all to give up. A month passes by and Kyouya learns to appreciate his new life, getting adjusted to his family life and his work schedule. However, at work things aren't going so well. Aiko and her team are struggling to keep up with the deadlines. The company president wants the next game called Mistle Clockwork to be out as soon as possible. Minori informs the team that because of the pressure she won't be able to meet the deadline and deliver her drawing that fast. But that is not the end of the bad news for Kyouya. He learns that the game engine is barely working and it's filled with bugs and glitches. Aiko tries to explain to the president that the game must be delayed but he refuses to listen. After another month the game Mystic Clockwork gets released to horrible reviews. People complain about the lack of Minori's art, the bugs in the game, the servers that barely work and countless other problems. The game gets taken offline and the company loses a lot of money. Kyouya is desperate to find a solution but he lacks any motivation or hope. He then sees that Nanako has uploaded her new song. Even though she said she retired, she still did her art to the best of her ability, which inspires Kyouya to keep trying. He informs the president that he will change the game engine from scratch. A reputable company will help him in achieving this. He also plans to compensate the players and issue an apology for the game's rough state. Also, as part of the plan, all the bugs and glitches will be fixed but the team members need to have a break. The president allows Kyouya to go ahead with his plan. After a while, Kyouya also helps Minori to become even better than before and the game starts looking much better. Kyouya is then informed that Aiko is leaving for Okinawa. He gets scared that Aiko is going to leave the company so he desperately runs after her to try and find her at the airport. They both argue and Aiko accidentally confesses that she has feelings for Kyouya and also promises to return and not quit the company. Kyouya wishes he could go back in time once more and fix things. Keiko then appears and it is revealed that she was the one behind the time travel. She warns Kyouya that if he goes back into the past there is no guarantee he will ever be this happy. Kyouya still decides to go back as he wants to make his friends happy. That night he says goodbye to his daughter and wife and he even sees Uki starting to draw again. Kyouya wakes up 11 years in the past, the day that Tsurayuki announced that he has dropped out of school. To make things right this time, Kyouya doesn't stop Tsurayuki and respects his decision. He also helps Nanako get a job to sing a theme song for the game they made. Kyouya then accidentally meets Minori and because of her Uki starts to draw again. And after some time passes, Kyouya meets up with Tsurayuki outside a theater. The two friends reconnect and start their new adventure together. And this brings the anime to an end.